Hey guys, how's it going? I've gotten several questions on what I'm using to coat these pistons with. I don't know how durable it is. I don't know how long it's going to last. Um, a buddy of mine sent me a link right to Cerakote, and I had to fill out a whole bunch of online things and information and all that. And then I paid for the 3 day like flight shipping or whatever, but because I'm impatient. But it took a lot longer than 3 days to get for the shipping that I paid. Um, and on the Cerakote website, this stuff said it was for skirts of pistons. I've seen this C110 on eBay as well, but when you look in the description, it says it's for gun parts. So I didn't know if maybe there was two different models of it. So I thought I'd be better off getting it right from Cerakote where it said it was for pistons. I know they got other stuff they got all kinds of coatings, but they got other stuff for the tops of pistons as well. I might venture into that later, but for now it's on some of these ones that I'm pushing pretty hard. We'll see if this will help alleviate some of the galling problems I'm having after 16,000 RPM or so. Pretty easy to use. This piston I just built or modified or whatever last night. This is a Meteor. This is for my buddy's 501 that we're going to be doing bad things to. This piston I sanded and then applied this stuff, and you just shake this stuff up. After I did everything to the piston, I washed it real good with acetone, and I just suspended it off from a wire through the wrist pin. This one I did not plug the the pinholes in there like I did on mine, but I got to do one more ream through with that for a final fit for my wrist pin. I got it where the wrist pin would go in but not slide in. But I just applied this with my door jamb gun, and with this cup thing, it's got a strainer in it. It's air cured. I think when it's got a 5-day wait. That's what sucks on that stuff. I see they offer, I don't know the number of it, but they offer an oven cure one that I will be testing out in the future. I tried these pistons. I blasted the surfaces. This was one. Try to show you here. You can see my fingerprints on the piston, but I had a little bit of galling right here. I sanded it up and blasted it, and you already see where I slid it down inside to make sure it still fit. That come out of a running saw that just had a little. I think it ate a little bit of intake debris. This one was a pretty high mileage piston. You can see here it's still got the coating on it, but here you can see the coating's kind of worn off. And it was that way on the skirts. There was bare aluminum showing through, so I media blasted this one. And I think this will be a serviceable piston for a beater. I don't see no problem with it. These are some that had I laid this stuff on pretty thick, but here you can see this one had a little bit of galling issue, but I sanded it and then shot peened it and coated it. This one I went a little bit thicker on, but for one of my beaters, this is one of my lightened pistons, one of my racers, and the same with this one. Turned out really good. It doesn't even look like it was a damaged piston. I didn't do this is, I've sanded the edges down. I use this piston for other things, but it was not quite galled that bad. But I think these are usable pistons now for my own personal stuff. I wouldn't put that in something I would sell to somebody. I would most certainly put it in something that I'm experimenting with or doing dyno pulls with, or an El Cheapo racer. I had to shorten up a factory echo pin for this, and then build 270 thousandths shims. I'm only doing piston swaps. I couldn't tell you how many hours I got into. The very first one was a tremendous amount of hours, but I have knocked the amount of time down. I wouldn't say quite in half, but it's still probably not worth the effort, but I'm a persistent person. But I'm not offering piston swaps to people, just a few friends, and I'm not gonna pump these out and offer these, because it's just I mean, they're very limited run. Sooner or later these will fail, they'll fall out of there, and it will probably blow the saw up. But I have to have them in there because the echoes require the shims in there. I've done this will be the fourth piston swap, so I'm starting to stock up quite a few of the factory shims. I might do a piston swap and put some pretty zesty numbers in it, and use some steel shims, and maybe we'll see how long something like that holds up. But I think Echo wants $3.99 a shim, and they're not very thick shims. Let's see here. Measure one of them up here. Yeah, they're 15, 16, they're 17, they're 17 thou thick. Oh, all my calculators at right here. Can't hardly read my calculator. Yeah, so I would need almost 4 of them on each side. Then you're adding weight because they're steel. These don't weigh nothing. But I don't know. I might look into reaching out to Weisco. I was talking to another person. They said if I do I think it's like $2,000 or something to do a minimum order of 10 pistons. I might build my piston and then send them. So what I'd like to do is build a piston with everything that I want in it, and then tell them to make the spacing the same as Echo with the 11mm pin, and then set it up with a single 1.2 mil ring. That way I can run the factory Echo ring instead of them real. Instead of these paper thin ones. In my experience with these rings here, at least on the 372 ones, they're too hard. They'll but yeah, that would be cool if I could get a, be pretty pricey, but man, it'd be nice to have a forged plug-and-play piston. And then maybe I would start offering race builds. Right now the only thing if I do take on, I'm just going to do a work build or a spicy work build. Um, yeah, I think we'll be playing around with these and see what happens. But my other piston that I did is in my box over there. I didn't put the lines in this one, but my buddy that'll be racing that, it's just going to be limited run, and he already understands if it blows up, it blows up. So yeah, but I have, if anyone else has used this stuff, let me know what you think of it. It's the C110 micro slick. I don't know, sure is a bummer about that 5-day cure, but sounds like if I'd have got the bake on stuff, I could have baked it for 3 hours or whatever and then used the piston. But we got a lot going on today, so probably not going to have much shop time out here. But yeah, so I did those last night. They're dry to the touch today, but I can tell they're still a little soft. But I don't know. Let me know what you think. You guys take it easy and have a good one.